All right, well, thank you, Bob. So we're going to call this meeting to order, the regular board meeting of the Shelton School District for March 9th, 2021. We'll start out with the Pledge of Allegiance. Do you have? Yes, of course you do. Thank you, Bob. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. All right, so have all board members had a chance to look at the agenda for this evening?
Yes.
If so, a motion would be appreciated.
I move that we approve the agenda for this evening.
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the agenda for the March 9th meeting. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, we have an adopted agenda. So moving on to item number 3, community comments. If you would like to make a community comment, you can call into our meeting. I'm going to go ahead and read the community comment section of our agenda, and that would give people an opportunity to call in if they would like to make a comment at this time. So as a part of the regular school board meeting, the board invites community members to make public comments in person and or by phone as conditions allow by calling the phone number and entering the meeting ID as found on our website. Our public comment procedure allows each person 3 minutes to speak, and comments will be heard during the 2 community comment periods as listed on the agenda. In accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, the board is not allowed to discuss items that are not on the agenda. The board may direct the superintendent to follow up on certain items that arise during public comment if appropriate. As with in-person meetings, public comments received in writing or by email will not be read aloud, but will be directed for follow-up as appropriate. Please be mindful of how you present your testimony, as the board will not allow complaints against an individual staff member or student in open session unless that individual has requested an open public hearing. Please state your name before speaking. All right, Bob, if you could just give us a brief instruction on how to mute and unmute and raise hands, that would be appreciated.
All right, for people who have called in, everybody is muted when you join the meeting. From a phone call, *6 on your phone mutes or unmutes you respectively. And if you wish to raise your hand, *9 generates a prompt that basically says you've got your hand raised and you wish to speak, and you will be called on appropriately at the time.
All right, so at this time, we would take public comments if anyone would like to speak. So again, just *9 if you would like to raise your hand to present public comment. All right, I'll give you another second or two. Not seeing anyone raising their hand. All right, so we will assume that there are no public comments at this time. There will be a second public comment section later in the board meeting after the superintendent's report. All right, so moving on to reports and recognition. Our first report tonight is reopening of schools with Marianne Marshall and Kelly Neely.
Thank you so much. So as you may be aware, on March 15th, this next following Monday, we'll be bringing back our 2nd through 4th grade students, as well as 6th graders, our 8th graders, and our high schoolers. And we have double, checked everything, crossed our T's and dotted our I's. And I am glad to say that we are prepared and ready to go. We've looked at staffing, we've looked at processes and procedures over and over again. We were even doing that today in our buildings, and I'm proud to report we are ready to go. We've communicated with families both in English and in Spanish, expectations through email, Facebook, open forums at each of our buildings to prepare our families and our community for March 15th. Kelly Neely, did you have anything else to add?
Thanks, Marianne. Hi, everybody. No, other than we are totally prepared to go. I'm super proud of all of the principals, the assistant principals, all staff at the building, teachers, pairs, everybody is chipping in. Everybody's there. They're excited. I've heard from so many families that their kids are so excited. It's like the very first day of school for some of them. So I'm excited to see where this goes. I'm really interested in the live streaming that we're going to be doing. And I feel like we're really prepared. You all should be very proud of all the work. So that's it.
So Kelly, could you describe the live streaming a little bit, what that's going to look like and what that means for kids who will still be at home?
I totally can, Sally. So at Shelton High School and at a couple of the other sites, but Shelton High School mostly, that's where the teachers will actually be teaching the lesson, but they'll be live streaming it for the kids at home. So there'll be active participants live at that time. And then the teachers will also record the lessons for students who couldn't make it to that session. And then one of the things that I like about that too is that even if they were at the live session, if they forget how to do something or they want to hear what their teacher said about it again, they'll be able to go back and watch it again. So it's really innovative, very, very happy that we're trying it out. And I am sure that it's going to be glorious when we pull it off.
I just like to add to that, June Doomers and Bruce Kipper at Shelton High School have been practicing what that live stream will be like. So they've been playing around with that for a while. They've made tweaks and adjustments. And so when I say we're ready to go, I mean, we have checked everything. And I know June's been working a lot with the live streaming and getting that ready and teachers prepared.
All right. Are there any other questions or comments from the board?
I had a question. And first of all, thank you all very much for all the hard work that has gone into all of this. And it sounds like it's been very successful with our first group that has gone back and that we haven't had, the board has not had any reports of any COVID cases. And it sounds like, there have been, that everything has gone relatively smoothly. I am curious at how this is being implemented at the high school level, since all 4 grades are coming back. Is that, is it the same situation where you've got, obviously smaller class sizes there? So is it a hybrid situation, or how does that work? Because I know there's so much more coordination with all of the classes up there.
Yeah, that is a really great question. We have about 500 students returning Monday, and they're an A-B model. They get out a little bit earlier than the rest of the students to accommodate, the large capacity of students that they have. But Shelton High School will be welcoming back a lot more students than our other schools. 500, that's a lot, but I can tell you that they're prepared and ready to go. Bruce Kipper, if you had anything to add to that for Shelton High School.
Yeah, I just wanted to add that over the last, so we did our survey with our families probably over the course of about a 3-week period. And originally we had just under 800 kids returning out of the 1,400 plus. And in the last week and a half, we've added 160 kids that want to come back to hybrid. So the process, so if some of our parents didn't complete the survey, or they've changed their minds, or they didn't get the survey, or whatever it might have been, we have a waiting list. We call it a waiting list, but it's not a waiting list. We've added everybody that wanted to come back. We've with minus 2 kids that we're trying to work out schedule conflicts, but we've been able to accommodate 99% of our family's requests. That includes they want to go from group A to group B, or they want to go from B to A, or they want to go from hybrid to in-person, or they want to go from in-person to hybrid. And so I just have to really compliment Lisa Gardner, Aaron Joseph, our counselors. They've been working for the last 2 weeks nonstop to accommodate our families. And we're anxious for kids to come back. I'm a little nervous about the screening procedure and getting 500 kids through in a half hour. But we'll get it done one way or another. So.
Yes, Yeah, I'm curious because you did mention that. Are we seeing at the other schools that we have had families either choose to bring their kids to in person or go back to online? Are we seeing a fluctuation of that, or has it stayed relatively stable?
So we've seen a little bit of a fluctuation. And again, we're trying to accommodate all families based on what's available. So making sure we adhere to all social distancing rules. So we're trying to do that. Like Bruce said, I don't want to call it a wait list, but if we're not able to accommodate, we're continuing that conversation, letting them know, hey, we're trying. And then when a space comes available or we work something out. But yeah, we have seen parents reach out to change their mind, either for in-person to hybrid to in-person, change days. And we do the best that we can, but we can't just blanket open it up to everybody to change their mind. But again, we'll work with families as best as we can.
Carrie, too, another thing that I want to mention is we are seeing people, they're trickling in, who had taken their kids out to homeschool them this year, and they want to come back. So we're already having them fill out their enrollment to come back to the school, which I find is just awesome that we're going to recapture some of those students.
Thank you for that update, Kelly. I think that that's great too. And I know just from the experience with my own children, they have loved seeing their teachers face to face, and just being back in the building has made them just have a sense of, getting back to a little bit more of a normal routine. And it's been a good step. I was curious myself how a 2-day school week with 3 days of asynchronous learning was going to go. And I've been very impressed with how that's been rolled out. So I appreciate the hard work everybody's done.
Hey, Carrie, I'd also be remiss if I didn't mention Bill Hutchinson, Cecilia and Maria, our EL paras. They have been working nonstop with our Spanish-speaking families and communicating with them and making sure that they understand what it means to come back or stay remote. We've added a bunch of our EL students also. So everybody is really just kind of lacing up their boots as tight as they can and going after it. So it's been really fun to watch people kind of rally around this and get it done.
Great, thank you.
Other comments or questions from the board?
I just have a question about language, I guess, because when I heard the answers, it was those that are in person and those that are hybrid. I thought hybrid was part-time in person and part-time online. So are some people in person all the time? Or, okay, just a different use of terms.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Bruce just got going, Sally.
Okay.
Yeah, no, he means in person is the hybrid, and then we have the 100% online.
Great, thank you.
All right, any other comments or questions?
I just have a comment, if that's okay.
Go ahead.
To do what's been explained this evening in preparation for bringing our kids back on February 22nd and now March 15th. It's been a tremendous team effort. It was all hands on deck to get this done. And I'm assured that March 15th will be another great day for the Shelton School District, because people have put their heart into this work to make sure that we did the very best for our kids and for our families. And if you look at it on the surface, it's hard really to describe the effort that's gone forward to make all of this work. But I'm very grateful to everyone for what they've done. And I believe our parents and students are going to be very happy and very proud of our school district once again on March 15th. So thank you very, very much.
All right, well, thank you very much, everyone. We're looking forward to that. You've all done a really great job with rolling out the first stage, and we'll look forward to hearing how the second stage went at our next meeting. All right, so moving on to item 4.02, the enrollment update with Brenda.
Good evening. I'm going to share my screen here. And I'm going to tag on to what Kelly mentioned about seeing some kids come back, because we're definitely seeing that after our first opening on February 22nd. These are still preliminary numbers. Enrollment was due to us at district office today, so we really just kind of grabbed some numbers and haven't fine-tuned yet for you here. We don't have to report to OSPI till March 17th. So these are very preliminary. They'll be very close. You usually don't see a lot of change. I don't have high school numbers in here because they hadn't arrived when I left the office to head up for the Met bid today. So we'll be getting those though. So good news, Bordeaux's up by 2, Evergreen's up by 3, Mountain View did go down by 2. Olympic Middle School is up by 1, Oakland Bay is up by 2.85. As you see, the high school, I just plugged in their number from last month just so I could get a bottom line and give you an average of what we're looking at. Choice went up by 4.23 FTE. Their pathway program at Choice stayed steady. They did lose 1 student in the middle school. And then Cedar High School also went down by 0.47. But as you can see, for the month of March right now, we're looking at being up by 9.61 FTE. Depending on what the high school does, we could be up even higher. So that's very positive. As you can see, I'm projecting we're back up above budget with this one. It's 4,132.57 if the high school stays where they're at. And that also brings our average up to 4,144.34. So that's 19.34 above our budget of 4125. So we are seeing us going in a positive direction now. So that's very good news. I'm anxious to see what happens after our March 15th opening next week at all the other grade levels. So that is what I have for preliminary enrollment. Of course, you will get the final reports once we have them finalized and sent off to OSPI like you do every month. Do you have any questions?
Excellent. Thank you, Brenda. Any questions or comments for Brenda?
If the board doesn't, Sally, I do have a comment. Does the board have any comment at all before I say anything? Okay. Well, you know, these have been very challenging times for school districts across the state of Washington to maintain their enrollment. And to be in the month of March and to be able to report what we've just reported is rather phenomenal based on information I have from other districts in and around our area. But, you know, it doesn't happen without tremendous effort on the part of families and our students and our staff. You talk about everybody coming to the plate. This is one right here where the families are encouraging their kids to come to school and support them. And then, of course, our teachers doing the best that they can every day to keep our students interested and motivated and inspired to come to school. So hats off to Shelton School District and everybody involved. And our families, of course, thank you for sticking by us during the most difficult times. Thank you.
Thank you, Alex. And thank you, Brenda, for the report. So that concludes the reports and recognitions. Moving on to item number 5, which is the consent agenda. Any of the usual things, general fund warrants and ASB and personnel report. Is there any comments or discussion? If not, I would entertain a motion.
I would say it's just nice to see some ASB things on there again and know that the students are getting to participate in more and more of the normal routines and normal activities. So with that, I'd make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
A second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? All right, consent agenda has passed. so moving right along, we're already to item number 6, discussion and action items. So item 6.01, proposed list of transportation vehicles to be declared surplus. Brenda.
Good evening. As you can see, you have quite a lengthy list of buses, vans, box trucks, all sorts of things that have been taking up space in our parking lot at transportation. So Holly and Brian Hudson got together and said, Brenda, please, can we get these on the surplus and get them out of here to make room? So that's what we're doing tonight. Talking to Brian and Holly, these aren't worth keeping on any level. So we would like to surplus them. What we'll do, we'll advertise them out to all the school districts in ESD 113 and advertise in the paper. And then we may do scrap metal. We'll just have to see how it plays out. But I would ask for your approval to surplus all of these tonight.
So any questions or comments for Brenda? All right.
Look pretty well used. Looking at the mileage, looking at their age. So it's time.
Oh, okay. So I move that we accept the recommendation to surplus these transportation items.
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded to declare these vehicles surplus. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? All right. We have a bunch of vehicles for sale, I guess.
Okay, thank you. They will be happy.
All right, so moving on to item 6.02, which is a proposed list of weight room equipment to be declared surplus. Brenda?
Yeah. So as you have seen in several pictures and videos, our beautiful new weight room in the mini dome that we've added on and purchased new equipment for that. So this is old equipment that is very, very used, according to Trevor. And so we would like to surplus this also the same manner. We do have some people actually interested in this, but we will still have to go through the process before we get there. So I would ask that this be declared surplus.
All right, so any questions or comments? Or a motion?
I'll move that we approve the recommendation to surplus the weight room equipment.
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded to accept the recommendation to surplus the weight room equipment. Any further discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? All right, motion passes.
All right, thank you.
All right, so item 6.03 is superintendent search update with Sandy.
All righty. The job posting has closed. We've been told that we have 33 applicants that filed their applications for the position. And the search consultants are combing through those and doing reference checks and various forms of vetting. We have an executive session scheduled on the 18th where we will review the list of candidates and select those that the board wishes to interview on the 27th. In the meantime, we've decided we should have a special board meeting, and it looks like that is scheduled for Monday the 15th. And that will be meeting with the search consultants to discuss, number one, how to format the asking of the questions, not the questions themselves, but the format. Do you, rotate between board members? Do you follow a topic? So the search consultants have a couple of different options that we can look at and choose. And also, as we're entering this new COVID phase, reopening phase, what does that mean for our interview process? And so we'll be talking about that as well on the 15th. And Lynn and I will be cross-referencing the list of questions submitted by board members that we will ultimately end up using in the interviews. So that's the update that I have so far. Any questions?
So Sandy, when do you and Lynn need questions from board members?
Sometime this week would be good. I think Lynn and I are going to try and get to work on that this upcoming weekend.
Okay, thank you.
All righty, thank you.
Any other questions for Sandy? It's about to get busy, fast and furious here very soon with the process once we start being able to go through all of the applications or the recommendations from our consultant. So if you have any questions about that, or if you're unsure about meeting schedule, then make sure you check with Sandy or I. All right, so that moving on to item number 7, superintendent's report.
Thank you, Sally. It is with great sadness that I announce that Executive Director of Human Resources, Dr. Terry Meisenberg, has indicated that he will be retiring effective August 31st, 2021. I want to take this opportunity to thank Dr. Terry Meisenberg for his outstanding service to the Shelton School District in a short period of time. And these times, of course, have been very challenging times. He has and continues to handle very challenging circumstances with great expertise and grace. We are very fortunate to have a person with Dr. Meisenberg's integrity, skill, patience, and his sense of team with us during these times. We all wish Terry the very best in his future. And Terry, thank you for everything. You are a credit and honor to our profession. Thank you very much. Terry, do you have anything you want to say?
Wow, thank you. I didn't see that one coming, but thank you, Alex. I appreciate it. And thank you to the school board and my colleagues. It's really been an honor for me to be here. I know it's short, but this is such a wonderful, wonderful place. And I get that. I've been in education a little over 5 decades, and my wife is no longer patient. She said, well, it's about time. We either get a therapist for you or something. We got to do something here. Anyway, I really have enjoyed working under and for Dr. Apostle and with the cabinet and administrators and everyone, the unions and everyone. It's just so many wonderful things going on here. It's been a blessing for me and my family, and I appreciate it. And I want to thank Alex, and I want to thank the school board so much. And we still have a lot of work to do. August 31st is a long way off, but sometimes as we go looking for this particular position, it's a good idea to look in the spring. So anyway, Alex, thank you, and thank you to the board, and I appreciate you all very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Terry. Just real quick, just a couple items here. As we've discussed, we had a great start to bringing our kids back in February, and we're looking forward to the same kind of start on March 15th. Everybody has worked hard to make that happen, no question about it. I want to again thank all the parents and families for their continued support during these different times. Without their support, without their understanding, without their continued allegiance to our school district, we would not be where we are today. Some of the things that we're working on right now, we're working and initiating our budget development process for the 21-22 school year. That's very important. We have to be right on the mark as it relates to the 21-22 budget. And we're beginning to work on that in earnest at this time. We're also reviewing and addressing our academic program and our model of instruction that we will be implementing in 21-22. And right along with that, of course, you have to look at your staffing, and everything's interrelated. Program, staffing, budget. It's a complex issue, especially with everything that we have moving forward, such as the Trades Academy, the Med Academy, and our new high school. But all 3 of those are moving forward very nicely. The last thing I want to announce, or one of the two last things I want to announce, is that we have an open forum on March 25th from 6 to 7. And I think the timing on that will be real nice, because if we have any issues that we want to talk about in terms of bringing our kids back to our school district, we can talk about it at that time. The next thing I want to mention is that this coming Friday, we're going to have a ribbon cutting ceremony that starts at 6 o'clock. It's based on health and safety protocols. Unfortunately, it's by invitation only, but I wish we could have invited everybody to attend, because it's truly a reason to celebrate. If you've had a chance to really take a good hard look at what this community supported in terms of our athletic complex and our school buildings, it is truly a time to celebrate and to honor our community and our students. What a wonderful opportunity to do that on Friday, March 12th. I just wish we had everybody there to join us. Maybe we'll have another ribbon cutting ceremony on another date, someday in the future. That's all I have, and I can't wait for Monday. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Apostle. All right, so moving on, we are to item number 8, which is our second opportunity for community comments. As a reminder, if you would like to make community comments, do *9 on your phone to raise your hand, and then *6 to mute or unmute. Is there anyone at this time who would like to make a community comment? I'm going to do a long pause here, just in case someone is trying to call in. All right, so we will assume that there are no further community comments, and we will go ahead and move on to item number 9, board member comments. All right, Carrie, you're at the top of my list right now, so would you like to go first?
Sure, and I don't have a lot of things to comment about. I do just want to continue to thank everyone for the hard work. Watching my own daughters, one of them go through it, and the next one is preparing now. And so I am hearing the teachers prepare them. I'm getting the principal emails. All of those things just help make a parent more, for me as a parent and my husband, much more comfortable as we walk through each one of these steps. My youngest daughter starts at OMS next week. She is both excited and nervous. I mean, it really is like the first day of school all over again. But watching my oldest go through it already, just the whole screen me in process becomes, much more fine-tuned as they all get used to it. And it's not big lines, and they're very used to washing their hands. And, I'm just really impressed with how everybody is coming together and working together to make this really great. I've really enjoyed watching all of the athletics that are going on, and also seeing the safety protocols that are going on there. I think it's really exciting. I got the message from our athletic director that they are going to allow some parents to view their kids during some of these athletic events, as long as it meets the criteria that they've got going on, and there's going to be some coordination with that. But I just think that that's wonderful that parents are going to be able to go see, especially their senior athletes, compete for potentially the last time. So I'm just really happy to see each step of the way. I do continue to see, because I'm involved on the Board of Health, they've got the mass vaccination clinic on Thursday, and I believe there are still openings for that clinic for our senior citizens as well as other eligible groups. So they've got that set up in 2 different ways. I was able to participate in a Board of Health meeting on Monday where we gave a recommendation for a new health director, and hopefully that will get announced to our community soon too, if that person accepts that job. And Dr. Stein, who's been working with our school district, we've asked him to overlap during the transition, just so that we make sure that everything, continues to run smoothly for our county, as well as the help that he's done with the school district. So I'll keep you posted if anything changes with that, but there should hopefully be a public announcement about that fairly soon too. But otherwise, just really looking forward to having both of my daughters in school. When I'm working from home on those days, it's going to be pretty quiet. So it'll be very weird, I think, after all this time. And it's crazy that we're coming up on nearly a year of when schools shut down. And I've had this conversation with several people this last week where at the time, I think Sally Card called me and I just kept saying, how can we do this? We can't shut down this close to spring break. How can we not have school for, be in school for that long? And it's really amazing when we look back on all of the steps that have been taken to now get back to having students in every one of the schools. So I'm really excited. I'm very happy that our high school students are going to be back on campus and that those seniors get to actually be on campus, even if it's, for a shortened time frame. So that's all I have for now. I know we're ramping up to a lot of meetings and I look forward to seeing you all in person with safety protocols on Friday. It'll be the first time that we've seen each other in person for a very long time. So I'm looking forward to that.
Thank you, Carrie. All right, Lynn, would you like to go next?
Sure. So I just want to echo what Dr. Apostle said. Terry, it's been really wonderful having you step in and help us during such a stressful time, and bringing your expertise and gentle demeanor, and I just feel like you lead with your heart and you always put people first, and whenever you do that, that's a win-win. So sad to see you go, but kind of happy that we have you through the rest of the school year at least.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome. I did get a chance to tour the athletic complex, and thank you, Trevor, for taking me and my son through that, and was so impressed. It's very professional. I feel like it's one more reason for our community and our students and our staff to be proud of being part of the Shelton School District. So well done to everyone involved in the planning and continuing to fine tune all of the things involved in that. I want to apologize. I'm going to miss Friday's ribbon cutting ceremony. I had already made plans to be out of town this weekend before I got the invitation, so I am going to miss that, but good luck to you all for that. And then I have been hearing good things from parents with kids who've started back in the hybrid, and so it sounds like things are going well, and I wish you good luck next week in bringing back more students. I feel like the timing is really good for our teachers to begin getting vaccinations. So I think that's going to be a positive thing moving forward. So that's all I have.
All right, thank you, Lynn. Sally, do you want to go next?
Sure. Thinking about this, and as we get closer to real life engagement again, it's beginning to feel even more surreal to me that we've been doing this for a year. And also a big thank you to Terry to walk into this and being able to just pick things up and being so very, very professional in everything that you do. Just really appreciate that. It's couldn't be a very easy time at all to take something like this on. That there's so much, I think, so much more to that position than what people realize. Just, kudos to everybody at the district, all of our staff and our families as well, in making the transitions that we're going through smooth, and having that patience that we need to get us through it. Yesterday, I spent a good amount of time in meetings with WASDA, both the Equity Caucus and an Equity Committee meeting. And some of the things around the bills that are in the legislature right now, really looking at them with the equity lens And one thing I hope that we learn through all of what we've done, and we have felt it in Shelton and most of the school districts have, is that around transportation. And what transportation means more than getting children to school and back from school. And, you know, the importance of that piece of our district in reaching out to parents, in getting meals delivered and packets and having hot spots and so much. Our transportation department really is just a big a part of our education process, and really has been so important during this whole time. And so with that, a lot of push in Olympia to recognize that we need, you know, our state needs to look at what we do, what our education transportation departments really mean to our districts. That was a huge piece. Also looking at graduation waivers, and looking at pathways. So what those pathways are to be. Are we going to stick with 24 core? Are we looking at different ways of getting that graduation, getting that readiness to go on in life? And I just really think that our district is so far ahead of most districts when I'm in those meetings and talking with everybody, and I'm going, oh, well, let's see, we started academies a few years ago. We're going into a trade school. We have, you know, we have choice and now Cedar, and really providing those options for students. And a lot of districts really are just starting to ask those questions. How do we really engage and provide a good quality education for every single one of our students? So I have felt pretty darn good about that. So there's some other things, and one thing that is, I'm just going to say it here because I heard this talk, and I am concerned about our students. There's talk in the state, talk at some high levels about learning loss, and hoping that really hoping that we are very cognizant in how we talk and how we think about this. Our students, all of us, we have lost time. We have lost time in school, time in together to engage in education. And I'm very concerned about this talk getting stronger and stronger about learning loss. And because on one side we talk about learning, on the other side we talk about social emotional health. So I'm very concerned about some entities around education wanting to push students hard to make up what they lost. They haven't lost anything because they haven't been there, and we haven't had the opportunity yet. And so I'm really hopeful that we can keep that in check, and that we embrace all of our children wherever they are and take them to the next steps without adding to their burden or stress levels and the social emotional well-being that we talk about. So that's enough for me.
Thank you, Sally. All right, Sandy.
Hi there, thank you. Well, I lost track of my weekends, and so board members have a reprieve. You can get your questions to Lynn and I next week. So I appreciate that. And yes, Dr. Meisenberg, we will miss your perspective and your advice, your viewpoints. We have been honored to have worked with you for the time that we've had. And then last, I just want to wish all the students, families, and staff wish them all the best as they start again on Monday, the 15th. There's been, we have a lot of confidence in the planning that we've done, the experiences from last month. Looking forward to the last trimester. And I know there was a lot of times I wasn't sure this was going to happen, even March 15th. So I'm very pleased to see it moving forward. Thanks to all.
All right. Thank you, Sandy. And I
Sally,
want to, yeah.
and I apologize for interrupting, but
Go
I
ahead.
feel terrible if I didn't tell Dr. Meisenberg thank you as well. I put it in the chat. I don't know if you saw it, but I get on a roll and I definitely did not mean to forget you. I really appreciate how you jumped in, how kind and wonderful you have been to work with. You do have a wonderful demeanor, and I've just appreciated that and how you've given your heart to our school district for this whole year that you've been working with us. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Carrie. Thank you all. Thank you.
Yeah. Sorry, Sally. I just had to put my in there as well.
Not a problem. And I echo everything. I'm very thankful you're going to be with us until the end of August, Dr. Meisenberg. You have been a real asset to the district and a real joy to work with. And you've come in at a time when we didn't even have a district office really for you to come to. You've spent, I think, the entirety of your time with us pretty much working from home. So that, which I'm sure offers its own challenges.
Thank you, Sally.
So we appreciate you and we appreciate your flexibility.
Thank you.
And I also wanted to say a really huge thank you to Robert. He has been juggling so many hats and balls and plates and I don't know what all. So thank you, Robert. You've been doing an amazing job keeping everybody up to date with the vaccine clinics and making sure that communication has been going out fast. I mean, literally up to the minute kind of stuff. So we really appreciate that. I know you've been instrumental in some of the clinics and things that are being organized and making sure our staff knows about that. So thank you very, very much. And like Dr. Apostle said, we do have a ribbon cutting on Friday. I believe it's going to also be virtually streamed. Am I right with that as well?
I believe so, yes.
Okay. So people will have a chance, even if you can't attend it live, you'll be able to see it online. And then as a reminder, we have a study session on Thursday, and instead of the 4:30 time, it will be at 5:30. So just to over communicate that, you could probably come at 4:30, but most people won't be there for another hour. So 5:30. All right. So with that, we do not have an executive session tonight, so we can go on towards adjournment if someone would like to make a motion.
Sally, forgive me.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry. We have some very good news that I would like Don Wielander and Dina Alley to share. And Robert, you're involved in that, and of course Brenda. But let's communicate the good news before we adjourn, please.
Muted.
I'm not muted, am I?
No, I am. And we just wanted to share from the team that in open meeting this afternoon, we did open the bids for the new mechatronics building in the parking lot at Shelton High School. And you will be receiving information at your next board meeting about the winning bid. But we'd just like you to know that we are on budget and very happy with the companies who bid. So you should hopefully receive nothing but good news at the next board meeting. We were very excited today. Look at that smile on Brenda's face. Like she was, I know, you could see her smiling through her mask as she was sitting on the stage today when the bids came in. So we are very, very pleased with that. And I also want to say thank you to Don. He's been diligent about the equipment. And we also have the equipment budget lower than we thought it was going to come in at for the final PO for the equipment. So Robert, Brenda, Don, everybody, like it was a ray of sunshine this afternoon for sure.
Wonderful news. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you very much. And we do have noticed that Mason Web TV will be streaming the ribbon cutting. So that will be where you'll be able to join in on that celebration on Friday. All right, so I think we're ready for adjournment, I believe, if someone would like to make a motion.
So moved.
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. We stand adjourned. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you.
Wow.
Right over.